सुनने वालों को सिराज ज़ैदी का बहुत बहुत आदाब, नमस्कार and good afternoon. You're very welcome to the program. You're listening to Apna Radio broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. Every Thursday from 3 to 4, I with you and you with me. Hopefully you'll stay with me until 4 o'clock. And today we have a guest in the studio, so we'll talk about that. Who is she and why is she in the studio? But like every week, we will start the program with the news item. And Charmaine is here. Charmaine, take it away.
Good afternoon. I'm Charmaine Colvin, and here's your weekly news update on Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. One of the biggest industrial strikes in India's recent years has entered its third day as hundreds of workers at Samsung Electronics continue to boycott work. The workers, who are based at Samsung's southern Indian plant in Sripambadur, are demanding better pay and working conditions. The strike is causing severe disruption to production at a consumer electronics facility, which is key for the global tech giant. The Samsung plant, which makes products such as washing machines, televisions and refrigerators, contributes between 20% and 30% of Samsung's annual $12 billion revenue in India, a key growth market for the company. The industrial strike in Sripambadur is one of the biggest strikes in India of late. The workers want Samsung to recognise their union as well as increase their wages and improve working hours. Samsung Southwest Asia CEO JB Park and other senior executives are in talks at the factory to try and resolve the dispute. Union leader E. Muthukumar said Samsung would have to talk to them, just like they had to engage with the Korean union there. 2 months ago, the 36,500 members of Samsung's biggest worker union in South Korea demanded higher wages and benefits, striking for several days, but with no impact on production. A spokesperson for Samsung India said that it is actively engaged with workers to address any grievances they may have and comply with all laws and regulations. Junior doctors in India's West Bengal state have vowed to keep up a strike in protest at the rape and murder of a trainee doctor unless their demands are met, defying a Supreme Court deadline this week. Although demonstrations in other states have ceased after the Supreme Court formed a hospital safety task force, doctors in West Bengal, where the tragedy happened at the R.G. Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, have continued their protest. The West Bengal Junior Doctors Front marched this week, with support from many other doctors in neighbouring medical colleges, to press its demands for justice for the victim and better security at the hospitals. The group said it would consider the court order directing protesters to return to work only if their demands had been met by the deadline. The group represents around 7,000 physicians in the state. West Bengal Health Department officials have said that the protesters' concerns, which include additional CCTV coverage, deployment of female security staff, adequate lighting, toilets and resting spaces, were being addressed, but they do not believe they will all be in place by this week's deadline. Protests have continued to gather pace overseas as thousands of Indians staged demonstrations in 25 countries, including the United States and Japan, to demand justice for the woman. Rights activists say the attack provides further evidence of the sexual violence Indian women face, despite tougher laws introduced after the horrific gang rape and murder of a young woman in New Delhi in 2012. India's market regulator is facing a threat to its credibility after a barrage of allegations against its chief, according to top fund managers. Multiple charges, mostly around conflict of interest, have surfaced against Madhabi Puri Butch, chairperson of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, from at least 4 different corners over the past month. She has denied most of them and not publicly responded to some. This comes amid a bull run in India's equity markets, which were among the world's best performing this year. Foreign investors have pumped in over $6 billion, while millions of new mom-and-pop investors have opened electronic accounts to invest in a mutual funds and initial public offering frenzy. Trouble began last month when US-based short seller Hindenburg Research accused her and her husband of holding investments in an offshore fund used by the Adani Group, implying it was why the Exchange Board was dragging its feet on an investigation against Adani over allegations of accounting fraud and market manipulation. Other accusations have been made by the Congress Party and media giant Z Entertainment Enterprises, while most damaging is the growing internal dissent within SEBI. Last week, furious staff members staged a protest outside the regulator's headquarters, demanding the resignation of Miss Butch. Around 1,000 employees reportedly complained of a toxic work culture, something which SEBI has strenuously denied. Miss Butch has strongly denied all allegations, and so far SEBI has not issued a public statement on the accusations and criticisms levelled at her. The killing of a 15-year-old boy by a classmate last month has fueled religious tensions in an Indian city, leaving one family grieving and the other shattered by the crime. Another 15-year-old boy has been allegedly accused of killing his classmate with a knife in a row about notebooks which got out of hand. The incident set off a wave of religious violence, fueled by false rumours that the alleged killer, who is Muslim, planned the killing against a Hindu boy. The claims went viral on WhatsApp, sparking protests in Udaipur with right-wing Hindu groups, torching vehicles and chanting anti-Muslim slogans, leading to a curfew and internet shutdown. The accused was taken into custody, while his father was arrested on the charges of abetment to murder. Shortly after, their family home was bulldozed to the ground in the BJP state, leaving his mother and 4 sisters homeless. Many now fear their once integrated Hindu-Muslim neighbourhoods are being torn apart along religious lines. The incident has become a sore point for the governing BJP after some opposition leaders accused the party of fueling religious tensions for political gains. An uneasy calm has prevailed in Udaipur since 2022, when 2 Muslim men beheaded a Hindu man in response to his support for a politician's divisive remarks about the Prophet Muhammad. The killing sparked massive protests and violence in the city for days, the memory of which could have triggered the recent wave after the killing of the young boy. India has secured an impressive 29 medals in the Paris 2024 Paralympics, surpassing its previous record of 4 in the Tokyo Paralympics 2020, more than 7 times its most successful games ever. There have been many moments to savour for India in Paris, from Sheetal Devi, who competes without arms, winning a bronze with Rakesh Kumar in a mixed compound archery event, to Navdeep Singh registering a record throw of 47.32 metres in javelin to win a gold in the F41 category. With 7 golds, 9 silvers and 13 bronze, the Indian team have created more heroes for young children to look up to. Congratulations to Avani Lekhara, who won a gold medal in shooting for the 2nd consecutive games and became the first Indian woman Paralympic athlete to win back-to-back gold and multiple medals. That's all from me. Tune in to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM for more news updates next week.
Thank you so much, Charmaine, for collecting such a wide scale of the news material and, of course, the industrial action, which is wide-spoken quite in the media as well. I think this is the repercussion of the Make in India kind of policy that we've talked about it last week, rather than, the pride a nation has about the made in India or made in Japan or made in UK or made in whatever the country the product is made. But now nobody's displaying the tag make in India. This product is make in India. Or made, so this is the policy. But of course, it's generating employment. Of course, it's creating a economic gain for the multinationals who are out there to earn quick profits. This policy of the current BJP government of make it in India. But it's creating, as I said, this is a perfect example of how the workers have been treated. And behind all that, who is giants like Adani and all that. So there you go. Something never going to solve in India. The second important point that you picked it up, Charmaine, was obviously the continuation of the communal tension, whether it's deliberate or whether it's architected by the certain political arena or in the political groups to create, in the old days, remember there used to be an incident of communal tension that you threw a piece of meat in a temple and the other crowd will throw a piece of pig in the mosque, and that was enough. Perfect example for igniting the violent among the community. But that's not India. In fact, India has always proven to live in harmony among all communities and has been an exemplary, a nation for the world to realize that multi-faith, multi-ethnic, multi-ethnicity, multilingual community can jostle together, can live together side by side and just to get on with life. But that has been erupted, I would say. More and more news, regular news, we hear about it. And this is an Udaipur. Somebody else sent me a viral, which I didn't actually share it but I thought I'll talk about it. A 5-year-old boy in the state of Uttar Pradesh bought a chicken biryani in his lunchbox, and he was being locked up in a storeroom, and he's been accused for being a terrorist, and he was rusticated. He's been, from the school just because he is not, and there was no guidelines. So what food should be brought in by the children, whether it's shakahari or mansahari and all that. Obviously, he belonged to a Muslim community and a Muslim family, so chicken biryani was in his lunchbox. But that was the reason for throwing him out. And 5-year-old, look at the psychological state. But anyway, that is a deeper discussion and deeper issue. We don't want to dwell into that because we have Sharad waiting for his clip about something very pertinent. Sharad, take it away.
Thank you. And as usual, good to be here again. So I was reading the Financial Times of yesterday and found an interesting news from Australia. The Australian government is considering a minimum age limit for social media use, potentially 13 to 16 years, due to the concerns that there are harmful effects and about the screen addiction. So the Prime Minister emphasized that the parents have concerns and this must be picked up as an election issue. But then again, there have been some opposition, but mostly it is going to be a ban on social media for under 16s. So South Australia has already taken some legislative steps to restrict the access, but it is not as widespread. There had been debates about enforcing the age limits like in smoking, and whether too much of restrictions will bring about nanny state or heavy-handedness of the government into the social life. That got me thinking about what's going on in India and whether we are really concerned about social media and its addiction, or something else in the background is fueling the social media and the OTT platforms. Now, what's happening is that Indian over-the-top OTT platform, as we know, has fundamentally altered the country's telecom sector, and that is the basis of the argument I'm going to make here. So it has changed the data consumption habits. Therefore, it has also changed the socio-economic landscape. There are about 117 crore telecom subscribers in India, and of which about 50 crore are active OTT users. Also, 60 crores are engaged in some form of social media. Together, they are reshaping the way we Indians are interacting, working, and consuming content. This has happened all of a sudden in last 5 years, 7 years, and everybody has been taken by this shock. Certainly, it is transformative, and but then it comes with its own element of uncertainty about the social fabric and how the future generations will process the life in digital India. For now, as I see, the social media and OTT is like a wildfire, and it is consuming the youth with distractions and isolation. And this is something to ponder upon seriously by the civil society and the government. So a brief history is that Reliance Jio entered the digital market in 2016 with lots of freebies and voice calls and inexpensive data that enabled millions of Indians to access the internet for the first time. And there came the OTT platforms, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Hotstar. Then regional players like Z5 or MX Player changed the mobile data usage dramatically to an extent where it started from a very low number in 2016. By 2023, that's about 6 to 7 years, the data consumption grew exponentially to 15 to 18 GB per month. And this is one of the highest in the world. And most of this data is consumed by video streaming, of which 70% is through mobile data traffic. Cricket being one of the top consumers. So IPL cricket matches, they have an exclusive streaming on Disney Hotstars and others if they have changed. The social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and they account also for the data usage. Short form videos and live streaming, they are getting popular. It's a paradigm shift from the voice to data. If you see the revenue terms, Reliance is about 175 rupees per month per user. And that is roughly the range for Bharti Airtel, which is like 200 rupees per user per month. So by global standards, it is modest, but then it's a crucial shift in telecom's financial strategies. And what this is doing actually is that it is bundling the data with the OTT and the social media access. So the contents are now being pushed by the telecom providers in order to generate revenue. And that is where the problem lies. We will discuss that a little later, but some more details about the content and how it has spread across the world, across the country with OTT platforms. Not only are they focused on the urban areas, but then there are regional contents in languages of South and East and West. And 50% of the OTT content is in regional language. So that is actually in a way resonating with the local culture and identity, and the spread of OTT content into the country is actually democratizing the social media and the information. It's a good thing that the content and the information propagation, broadcasting has moved from the city centers into regional centers and into small towns and villages. So if you look at the telecom subscribers demography, about 50% comes from the rural as well as urban areas. There are 54 crore internet plans in the rural area for online subscriptions. And this is where we are calling for a new wave of rural digital empowerment. In a way, it is mirroring the new India, but then it is divided or fractured into regional and local identities, which needs to be cleanly unified by a good social telecom policy. Now, here comes the concern. The rise of social media has changed social interactions, particularly among Indian youth. So platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube have become primary spaces for self-expression, activism, and communication. So 60 crore social media users, and they are mostly in the age group of 18 to 34. This has changed India's social dynamic suddenly. Young India is not passive consumers, but they are also active content creators. They participate in Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. They influence platforms, and by the numbers, the focus of the large social media company, therefore, is on India. There are no ways in order to put things in control. Obviously, it is giving rise to mental health and privacy concerns, isolation, distraction, and there is an increasing influence of social media on digital addiction, and long-term exposure is leading to anxieties, depression. Cyberbullying is another area that needs to be addressed urgently. WhatsApp has 55 crore Indians. Facebook has 34 crore Indians. And the kind of misinformation and exploitation of personal data, that is of a major concern again. So the Indian government has introduced regulations, but then they are not enough. And that is where I am seeing a strong resolve by the Australian government to implement curbs on social media. In order to fuel the revenues, the telecom companies are integrating the social media with e-commerce and financial tech services. This is a new stream on the digital platform. So like GeoMart or Geo Payment Banks or Airtel Banks. Now this is where they are serving about 10 crore customers. And this demand for digital transaction is growing as more and more e-commerce platforms are using the telecom services. So the convergence of telecom, social media and e-commerce, though it is accelerating India's digital economy, creating new opportunities for businesses, but then it is also creating uncertainties in the market for which India is not prepared. Now here comes the challenges. The telecom companies have spent large amount of money to get the spectrum. Spectrum is basically a space to do the business by the telecom companies. So they have spent around 1.5 lakh crore to get that space. And with technologies coming in quick and fast, like Internet of Things and digital platforms, they have to make lots of investments into infrastructure. India already have over 6.5 lakh telecom towers. So the country is dotted with those telecom towers over the terraces and the roofs of the cities and villages. But then equally, these telecom companies are sitting on large debts. Like Vodafone has a debt of 2.3 lakh crore Indian rupees. So is our BSNL. The other telecom players like Jio, they are just managing to be on the profit. So while the telecom companies have to invest a lot on the infrastructure, their revenue streams are just not enough. So if you see the overall situation, India's young population is at the center of the digital transformation, and they constitute about 65% below the age of 35. They know only the digital part of the world. They have grown up in the digital environment of OTT platforms, of social media and high-speed internet. So all they would look forward is in the field of artificial intelligence or digital marketing or entertainment based on OTT platform and digital production, creation, so on. But then they also have to develop skills in these areas of digital content creation, data analytics, and cybersecurity, the most important of them, and finance technologies on digital platforms. This part of literacy is not there in India currently. And the focus on digital literacy is also missing in a big way in India. So if you see holistically, Indian youth are trapped in a kind of a digital web where each click shares makes it harder to escape their endless cycle, digital dependency. Telecom companies themselves are stuck in the everlasting burden of debt. The future has serious risks, and therefore, I would say that the telecom policy, the telecom sector, which is driving the digital India, the new India, the youth of India, have the potential to be the enemy of India. Thank you for listening, dear friends. Hope to see you next week. Once again, take care. Bye for now.
Dublin South FM.
You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its history. So why would you buy a story without knowing who's telling it? Come here and I tell you. It's not always easy to verify what you see, read, or hear. But now there's help. Visit www.bemediasmart.ie. Stop, think, check. Be Media Smart. Brought to you by Media Literacy Ireland, supported by RTE.
93.9 Dublin South FM.
Now, thank you so much, Sharath, for huge information about the data consumption and digital India. That's what it is. people are consuming, and particularly the youth. Yes, it is a worrying task for the rest of the world. Here as well, the secondary school have actually put a proposal, and you cannot use the mobile phone during the school term. You have to leave it in the locker or whatever. But then after that, you see, it's not only a youth, it's only everybody, the adults as well, and the family sitting in the room, everybody's on their mobiles, nobody's talking to each other. It is a culprit. Well, that's all I can say, because the human touch is being replaced by the digital touch, I call it. So there you go. Anyway, as I introduced you in the beginning of the program, we have a guest in the studio. And let me talk to our guest. Before I talk to the guest, I'll tell you about her. You know that we are gearing towards the 15th Indian Film Festival of Ireland. That has been kicking in from the 3rd of October till the 6th of October. And it's going to be a 4-day festival. Thanks to Umaji, because of her project, we extended another day. And then after extending that day, we have got 2 more films added on top of that, because there was a late entries for those short films. So that's been added on. So this year, I have actually focused quite a lot actually on the homegrown filmmaker in Malayalam language film, in Telugu language film, and of course in our own Hindi and English language film. So most welcome, Umaji. Uma Magal is the right word. I hope I'm pronouncing okay. So you are the filmmaker, you are the fellow media person, and you are delectable creative media individual who have been active in the media. So tell me about we'll talk about your project, The Other Kohinoor and the Rocks of Hyderabad, which has been a part and parcel of the film festival. But tell me about yourself, how you get into the industry, and when did you decide it, and how is it started?
First of all, thank you, Siraj Zaidi, for inviting me. This is such a pleasure, and it's so nice to sit across this table and chat with you. And to see how Apna radio works. Thank you so much.
As a small radio station, just because we thought that the voice is important,
yes,
and the information, and remain in touch with back in India through the radio. When I was in, as I said, BBC World Services, one thing I've learned is that radio makes a better picture. And radio gives you a lot of information which no other media can give you, because we live in the world of fake news and fake media. So the horse's mouth is the best way.
True. And it's such a nice space you have here.
Thank you.
And community radio, I think, is a very, very important thing. And I'm so happy it's getting so strong now. So absolutely, it's a
thank you.
Great situation. Thank you for having me. To answer your question, it's a long story, but it's a very usual story. I started with theatre and then went into film. I worked in theatre in Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and I love theatre.
As an actor,
scriptwriter, behind the scenes.
Okay.
Theatre, I haven't done any direction. It's always been more acting and production work.
Okay.
But then it was very natural to move into film somehow, because film sort of encompasses everything.
Everything, of course.
And it was, I was young and wanted to try the new medium and had friends in it. And so that's how film happened. And I studied in India at MCRC Jamia Millia in Delhi. And then I went to the US. And I have, I did a degree there in film production, media and film production.
Wonderful. From where, in New York?
So, no, this was at Temple University, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia,
yeah.
Okay.
And I taught there as well, as part of the scholarship I had to teach. And then the teaching bug got me. And so then when I got married and moved to Berkeley, then I started teaching at San Francisco State, media, in the broadcast media department. So that's and in the US I did a lot of film, documentary film and, television.
Okay.
So that was the background there. And then, and also very close to my heart, a lot of community media. Uh-huh. So, did a wonderful program with a bunch of ladies who were all daycare workers.
Okay.
It was called the Worthy Wage Campaign, and we made a film to unionize the daycare workers. And it's in use nationally in the US. And that was all, that was the background. It was great fun. And I got addicted. Aap to jante hain. Once this bug bites you, it doesn't leave you. It doesn't leave you.
You don't want to do any other job in the world.
Nothing. And it's a great profession. It's a great profession. So then when I went back to India, because we wanted to go back to India, both my husband and I, we had never worked in India. We left very young. So we wanted to see what's this India all about.
Working environment. Like myself, I left India when I was 19, straight from college.
Right.
And didn't continue my MCRC course the first year. And when I didn't have a working experience in India, only study and a bit of fun and all that. And that's you leave India and then India moves on.
And same, ditto. And, you have this curiosity about what is India. So that's how we went back. And it was a wonderful 15 years. And this film that we're going to talk about was made as part of that journey in India.
Right.
And India too, I taught a lot and made a lot of films. And
you went back to Hyderabad?
No, we went back to Bangalore first. Right. And then we went to Bombay and then Hyderabad. So, and Hyderabad was the longest stretch.
So you, obviously in the film and business and all that, with Bombay filmmaking didn't appeal to you? Or
of course it did. That was the reason I went to Bombay. But then we had to move to Hyderabad for various personal reasons. Okay. And Hyderabad is hometown for me. Okay. It's my hometown. Okay. So it was very easy. We got married in my granddad's house. My dada ke ghar mein hamari shaadi hui.
Very nice.
It was very easy to go back to Hyderabad. So it was wonderful because raising the kids in Hyderabad was a real joy. It was one of the best places on the planet to raise children at that time. So it worked out really well.
Super.
And
so what brought you to Ireland?
To Ireland, again, it was, we have a great sense of adventure, I think. Both, my husband, Ashwini. So we have this sense of adventure. And so his company's headquarters was in Basel, Switzerland. So one summer we were visiting there. And I said, we must come with the children to Europe for a long stretch so they can see the world. We were very Hyderabad, very local and we loved it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Totally immersed. But then I said, they should see the world. And that's how we came to Ireland.
Right.
And it's been a great experience. It's been wonderful learning about Ireland and the richness here, the culture, the music, the literature. My God, it's just been mind-blowing.
Of course, and the people.
Kindest, most, friendly people. So all that's been great. But to come back to the media business. So my last film, so in India, it was all making a lot of corporate videos, music videos, documentaries and stuff like that. And then the last documentary, which you screened at the IFFI.
I did, yeah. Absolutely. The Players. Yeah,
is on like this. Yes, it's about theatre. It's about a world-renowned theatre in rural Karnataka, rural India, in Kannada, Hindi and English, with English subtitles. And it was great fun to make that. And fortunately, it was bought by NDTV and broadcast nationally. So that sort of really made me feel documentary can do a lot to convey a message. The bread and butter is separate. The bread and butter has to happen with the corporate gigs and a lot of training videos. I made a lot of training videos for education, and that was all very good for work. But then the documentaries really satisfy your soul. They allow you to work with people who you love and respect and say things that you really want to say.
Just to consolate you, this year we are heavily leaning towards documentaries. Quite a few documentaries are in the program and the festival program, and you love it. I mean, most of them are good,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, good documentaries are all around. In fact, I highly recommend the closing, close to the closing, I would say, is the de-glamorization of Bollywood.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that. Yes,
Mr. What's his name? Channana. Mr. Upendra Channana is the director. He's a Punjabi film director based in Mumbai. And behind the scene, living on the edge, what is all about this glamour thing which you see on the screen, but that's not the reality. So he went behind the camera and behind the industry, and he made that, and it's making a news worldwide. So I picked it up when I saw it first time. So yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
So Ada Kohinoor, the Rocks of Hyderabad, where did that come from?
Oh gosh, it's been a long journey. 12 years now, we're in the 12th year of it. So the Hyderabad is very famous for its rocks. These rocks are the oldest in the world, among the oldest in the world. South Africa, Australia, and the Deccan Plateau were all fused at one point.
Okay.
And when that broke, these rocks were left in India.
Okay.
Whereas, and so it's the same rocks, those oldest rocks that these three continents have. And this is the Deccan Plateau. This is the stunning, beautiful landscape that we have. And raising the children, we did a lot of going onto the rocks, picnics, bouldering, bada maza aata tha. And then in front of our eyes, those rocks were all destroyed for, for valid reasons, sometimes. For development, for roads, houses, which we all need. But there was a great grief that came with it for the children. It was really horrible. This film started in grief. Really.
Right.
The children's grief. And they were like, kya hua? Where are those rocks? Wo peacock jo uske upar baithta tha. Where is that peacock? Where did it go? Where are the snakes? Where are these birds that used to, and so to try and answer them, to try and find a way to communicate between them. What happened, why it happened, what is the kind of balance we should seek when we grow our city, a beloved city. To do that, I thought, chalo, we'll make a 5-10 minute film. Inke school mein dikha denge, colony mein dikha denge, baat kar lenge, and the children will be able to process it.
Right.
It would have been easy for me because this is my field. I have my own equipment, my own studio, so it would be very easy to.
That's how it started.
5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how it started. But oh my God, did it not end?
Grew humongously worldwide.
It grew and grew. And Mahanur, my friend and colleague on this, who's the co-producer of this film, we researched for about 2.5 years. And we met so many wonderful, interesting people. Geologists to hain, but then old Hyderabadis, old, storytellers, folklorists, musicians, balladeers, all kinds of theatre people.
Just to give you a bit of a good...
To get into the research of what is Hyderabad about, what is this landscape, who are these, people who know about all this and who have expressed about it in their own work. So ye dhoondte, we got a treasure trove of information.
Wonderful.
Poetry, folklore,
I
music.
love the title, The Rocks of Hyderabad, the other Kohinoor.
Yes, so that is very, very, I'm glad you like it. And one thing was to communicate because Kohinoor catches everyone's attention.
Exactly.
So that was one part of it. But the bigger part of it was really that, these rocks are really precious. They are precious. They are invaluable in that they take in the water from the rain, they absorb it, they replenish the groundwater, they add minerals to the soil that enrich the soil, they are house flora, fauna, the most beautiful native flora and fauna, which, all countries have their own, but Hyderabad has its own, and it's beautiful.
Lovely.
And, it's an ecology that works together. And, so that value, I thought by saying Kohinoor, people would connect it.
Of course.
Ye as valuable hai as that Kohinoor. And Kohinoor is actually from Hyderabad area.
Of course.
It was from the Golconda mines, from the Krishna Basin. And we keep groaning and moaning and crying about that Kohinoor that's gone.
And what about the rocks here?
What about these that we are ourselves losing? So that was the connection I hope we were able to make, and a lot of people have responded to
Wonderful.
that.
So you completed the film back in 2008 or 9? Or when did you complete?
No, it was 2 years back that we had this
final cut.
the premiere.
The premiere.
So what is it now? 24. So 22. We had the premiere in September.
Okay.
And Siraj Saab, I wish you had been there.
Okay.
It was
I saw the pictures.
Overflowing. People were standing on one leg.
Wow.
Aisles were blocked. The projection room, people were in there. I myself was outside the hall because there was no place.
Wonderful.
It was really something. And the reason I'm so excited by it, of course, as a filmmaker, I'm thrilled. But more than that, it is because the people responded. Hyderabadis came out to see this and support it, and they went and they were crying. The press was crying, the people were thrilled, everybody kept talking.
Just to break the news, the two London people are coming to see the film, your Hyderabadis.
Oh, how lovely.
They're especially coming to see your film from London. The Hyderabadi people came to know about it.
I am so thrilled about this. I would love to meet them.
Rabia, who lived in Hyderabad for years.
Oh, yes. How wonderful.
She said, look, I'm coming to see this Uma's film and all that. It's very nostalgic for me.
Excellent.
Super. So now it's good doing the film circles and...
we've been on the festival circuit. We've had a lot of fun, won some awards, this, that, got rejected by lots of festivals as well, and won at other festivals. So it's a mixed bag, but we're having fun.
Yeah.
The bigger part of this is not the festivals. That is part of just being a film, you have to be in festivals. But the second part, the more important part, is this outreach we're doing in Hyderabad, in India, abroad, where we want to make people aware of how culture and landscape are a unity. There's a unity there. And how our culture in olden days, across the world, any city, आप लखनऊ को देख लीजिए, आप कोई दिल्ली को देख लीजिए, आप London को देख लीजिए, Dublin को देख लीजिए. In Dublin, for instance, there are so many songs on the Liffey.
On the Liffey, yeah.
You know, there's so much about the landscape, so much poetry. I don't have to tell our audience about this. They're all living here and they know it. But, you know, the culture has shown so much honor, gratitude, respect, affection, love for the landscape everywhere.
Everywhere.
And that's what I want this film to do, to start raising this conversation so that we don't lose balance and, you know, this blessing that nature has given us while we develop and do what we need to do for human needs, you know.
Absolutely. Any more plans for going anywhere else, this film, or wider distribution or anything like that?
In the sense?
In the sense that it'll go to other festivals, or is it still going?
There's still many festivals it's going to
cover.
Where they're excited about it and they've invited us. Then it's also doing a lot of outreach still in Hyderabad, in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Bangalore. So all that is still happening.
The country is so huge, and and who knows, the people get inspired to do their own local research and their own landscape.
That is the goal. That would be the ideal. That everyone gets excited about this. This conversation grows.
Correct, absolutely. You know,
the most exciting thing that I will tell you that's been happening is that schools have been reaching out to us and they are including it in their curriculum.
Wonderful.
So either it would be geography curriculum, like Delhi was the first school that reached out to us. There's a school in Noida. Then there are, or in environmental education curriculum. So they're putting it into that.
Okay.
You know, and so that is very exciting. I don't know any documentary that's in curriculum. So that is, we feel very proud of that.
And you plan to go back to MCRC to screen it there?
Yes, I would. Yes, I hope we get to do it.
Super. Listen, thank you so much indeed, Umaji, for giving me information about this film, and to our listeners, which is a screening at the 15th Indian Film Festival of Ireland, starting from the 3rd of October until the 6th of October. The screening is on the 6th of October at 4 p.m. UCD Cinemas. So do please come along and watch out our website, www.iffi.ie. And on social media, you'll find that on Facebook and Twitter and all those places. So looking forward to seeing it in the theatre and enjoying it, and the Q&A afterwards.
Great. Thank you so much. And, you know, on a last note, any information anyone might want is also on our website, www.otherkohinoors.com.
www.otherkohinoors.com. Kohinoors or Kohinoor?
Kohinoors.
Kohinoors with S. Yes. Great. Once again, thank you so much indeed, Umaji.
Thank you, Siraj Saab. I'm looking forward to the IFFI festival very much.
It's going to be shaping well. Everything is under control, shaping well. The guests are confirmed and all that. So great.
Beautiful.
I'm looking forward to it as well. So here we go. Time to take a first track.
जे हम तुम चोरी से बंधे एक डोरी से जइयो कहाँ ए हजूर जे हम तुम चोरी से बंधे एक डोरी से जइयो कहाँ ए हजूर गजरा वाली फिर तू ऐसे काहे निहारे गजरा वाली फिर तू ऐसे काहे निहारे चितवन के गोरी माने तो समझा जा रे
मतलब एक है नैनन पुकारता जे हम तुम चोरी से बंधे एक डोरी से जइयो कहाँ ए हजूर
जे हम तुम चोरी से बंधे एक डोरी से जइयो कहाँ ए हजूर
Broadcasting from the Dundrum Town Centre, this is Dublin South FM.
Are you part of a local community group or representative organisation active in the Dunleary-Rathdown area? Why not join a network of over 400 such groups in the Dunleary-Rathdown Public Participation Network? You can join the group, influence local policy, get regular updates about funding and other opportunities, connect with other groups like yours, publicise your group and even get free training and support. Make sure your voice is heard through DLR Public Participation Network as a registered group in the county. Dunleary-Rathdown Public Participation Network. For full information, find us online at dlrppn.ie. That's dlrppn.ie.
Have you ever wondered what kind of support is available to you and your family in the community? The Southside Partnership is here to help. We support people, build vibrant communities and improve social and economic inclusion in the Dunleary-Rathdown area. We offer services including employment supports, education and training, self-employment supports, enterprise supports, youth and family supports for local community groups and the TOOS programme, which offers valuable work experience in many roles such as radio production, sports coaching, librarian, administration, caretaking and much more. If you'd like to learn more about the Southside Partnership, please visit southsidepartnership.ie.
Broadcasting to South Dublin on 93.9. This is Dublin South FM.
मुझको लिखना क्या ये तुम्हारे काबिल है
प्यार छुपा है खत में इतना जितने सागर में मोती प्यार छुपा है खत में इतना जितने सागर में मोती चूम ही लेता हाथ तुम्हारा पास जो तुम मेरे होती
तुम्हें भेजा है खत
आँख खुली तो तन्हाई थी सपना हो न सका अपना
तन्हाई हम दूर करेंगे ले आ तुम शहनाई ले आ तुम शहनाई
प्रीत बढ़ाकर भूल न जाना प्रीत तुम्ही ने सिखलाई
फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में फूल नहीं मेरा दिल है फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में
खत से जी भरता ही नहीं अब नैन मिले तो चैन मिले खत से जी भरता ही नहीं अब नैन मिले तो चैन मिले
चांद हमारे अंगना उतरे कोई तो ऐसी रैन मिले
मिलना हो तो कैसे मिले हम मिलने की सूरत लिख दो मिलने की सूरत लिख दो
नैन बिछाए बैठे हैं हम कब आओगे खत लिख दो फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में फूल नहीं मेरा दिल है फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में
So now, thank you so much indeed for giving us a couple of tracks, wonderful tracks. And we're bringing to an end to our program. Just to wind up on two things. If you remember, I mentioned our supporters, financial sketchers from Delhi, Noida, and Gurgaon and Gujarat and all over India and all that. They're here. So in terms of what they are, I'm going to talk about them. And so we will just sit back and listen to who these financial sketchers are. And then I will talk to you about remind you on the 15th Indian Film Festival of Ireland. That is happening from 3rd of October till the 6th of October. Please book your tickets at www.eventbrite.ie is the website. And so tickets are selling fast. I must say that 50% are already gone. And we have 3 more weeks to go, in fact. So do please log on to it. And gala tickets is only €25 with full dinner, Indian gourmet dinner. And of course, the elaborated entertainment section that I have, planning to unveil there. And also the award ceremony will take place, the visiting guests from India. And of course, the charity foundation that I have included, Danzel Foundation, and its founding member and a founding father and a CEO, Shakeba Omar, she'll be traveling as well to receive the award with Atul Tiwari and Satish Sharma. So those are the 3 guests who will be honored. And the opening film, you all know it, Mujib, The Making of the Nation, about Bangladesh, the country in turmoil. And that's the reason for showing it, the film about how the Bangladesh came about. And of course, Umaji's film, the other, Kohinoor, The Rocks of Hyderabad is there. Malayalam film, The Other is there. Can I Be Okay? A COVID film is there. Shaheen Bagh documentary, highly recommended. The Land of My Dream, beautiful film, beautiful documentary that's been made. So Kalik, that's another film. made in Maharashtra. So a lot of new talent and not a lot of new documentaries. So that's it. I am ready to fly out of the studio, and please do listen to the Financial Sketchers. And then if the time permits, we will wind up in song. Bye for now.
If health is wealth, the health of your wealth is equally important. Hello, we are Financial Sketchers, a global wealth advisory firm. We are a team of 30-plus experienced professionals, serving over 1,200 high net worth families, corporate entities and NRIs across 15 countries, transacting 100 crore rupees annually. We work from 4 offices in India, in addition to presence in UK, UAE, Kenya, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And we are happy to meet each client in person, anywhere across the globe. We specialize in wealth creation, passive income, retirement planning, legacy planning, and risk management solutions. And we promise you, whatever be your financial goal, we will secure them for you. Be it building personal wealth, family wedding expenses, higher education for your children, living a rich retirement lifestyle, leaving a huge legacy, or any other dreams you may carry. Financial Sketchers is there to help you fulfill it. Let's build wealth responsibly.
सदियों पुराने हम तो तेरे आशिक हैं सदियों पुराने चाहे तू माने चाहे ना माने चाहे तू माने चाहे ना माने